Reporting there. In just a moment or two, we'll continue the build-up here in the point depot in Dublin. Now, if Lennox Lewis were to lose tonight, he would certainly be left holding the baby, even if it is only the property of Frank Maloney, the newest addition, his daughter Sophie.
You could say this is a soft side to Lennox Lewis, but when it comes to me in the ring, you're going to see the mean and aggressive side, definitely.
Hi, I'm Justine Fortune. I'm Australian. I've come halfway around the world to fight Lennox Lewis. I have no intention of laying down. So if you're looking for some excitement, watch me after the break.
From the home of sport.
Moments away from Lennox Lewis' first appearance in a ring on this side of the Atlantic in quite some time. These are live shots. Lewis going through his final warm-up routine behind the stage here at the Point Theatre in Dublin. So much resting on this performance tonight for Lennox Lewis. He looks ready to go, and certainly on the evidence of yesterday's weigh-in, although this is a heavyweight contest, Lewis, for many physical reasons, starts a very big favourite. As we saw yesterday, Lewis well in command in height terms and in weight terms.
Justine Fortune has weighed in at 15 stone, 6.5 pounds. Lennox Lewis has weighed in at 17 stone, 8 pounds.
No surprises there, Lewis weighing 17.8. He was 17.10 for the fight against Lionel Butler, his first comeback fight after the defeat by McCall. Now, is it, in a way, Barry, is this a dangerous sort of an advantage for Lewis to have? He is so much heavier. He has such a reach advantage that the danger is always, well, it's going to happen anyway.
Well, I mean, the fact is, if the guy crouches down, he's 5'9", he says, 5'8". In fact, he doesn't even look 5'8". If he crouches down, there's almost a foot of a difference. So there is a danger in punching down on people. In fact, part of the reason why Tyson was so dynamite, everybody that was taller than him and threw down on top of him, he'd make a miss, bang, 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 and he'd frighten the living daylights of him, so they were afraid to compose themselves.
You've pointed out already that Lennox Lewis has had problems against the smaller men he's faced through his career. Now, is there any reason why that it's going to be any different tonight?
I think tonight is basically a measure for him. Has he got his confidence back? Stuart wants to know, can he get in there and trade with the guy, get into the trenches and start punching and trading with the fella? You know, is he going to be apprehensive still or not? And basically, it's just a matter of, I hate to say it, but it's basically target practice. He's got to get rid of this guy impressively. And Lewis, or Stuart wants him out of there in 3 rounds, maximum.
The bigger question, Barry, would also be that Lennox Lewis, who has been to the top of the game, he has made his millions, is the hunger and the determination still there in the way it was before?
I don't think it ever possibly could be there before. I mean, desire, it's a contradiction in terms. You come from having nothing, wanting to get to the very top, and then all of a sudden they're lifting a lane, you're rolling out the red carpet. It's very difficult to get up in the morning and train, and train with the same determination and desire. So there is always a direct contradiction there. But, you know, the will to win will always be there for Lewis. He's very determined, he's very talented, and he wants to prove he's the best in the world.
What about the people around him? Now, Emmanuel Stewart's credentials speak for themselves. He's produced more world champions in all weight divisions than virtually any man in history.
Well, arguably the best trainer of all time. Eddie Futch is a remarkable trainer too, but him and Eddie Futch, Emmanuel Stewart, Eddie Futch, 2 best in the world. And, you know, he's got the best possible guy. Unfortunately, it's happened a bit late. He should have had him 3-4 years ago. But, you know, as he says himself, it's neither here nor there at this stage. He's got to try and make the best of what he's got left. And hopefully that will be enough for him to get back in there again and win the World Championship.
We'll be exploring the political ramifications, and it's very difficult to keep up with day by day in the World Heavyweight division and the changes in manoeuvring positions of various promoters, managers and fighters. But should Lennox Lewis do a good number on Fortune tonight, where will that leave him relative to reclaiming a version of the crown?
Well, I think he has earned his shot at the World Championship again. He's been given Lionel
You're thinking
Butler
specifically WBC?
Well, it's WBC. He deserves to fight for the WBC title again. You know, let's be honest, McCall has had a long time in which he could have made voluntary defences. But, you know, Bruno wants to have a shot at the title again, and there's a lot of money at stake, so anything can happen.
Thanks, Barry. Hope very much you're going to enjoy the fight with us live on Big Time Boxing on Sky Sports tonight from the Point Depot here in Dublin. Many great performers in various fields have already graced this new arena. I wonder if we're going to see a great sporting performance tonight from Lennox Lewis. And our Master of Ceremonies this evening is Mike Goodall.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome into the arena from Sydney, Australia, Justine Fortune.
Well, this is Ian Dark at ringside with Glenn McCrory, and this is Justine Fortune. He's been derided and written off by the British press in advance of this fight, and I must say, coming into it, he is giving away over 2 stones in weight, and he seems to be short of Lewis in size, skill, class and power. But upsets have happened before. It's hard to see really how Fortune can upset Lewis, but he promises to come in here. He says he hasn't come halfway around the world to just sit down and look for the canvas, and he promises to be very aggressive. But can he possibly ruffle the aristocratic feathers of Lewis?
It's going to be very, very difficult for him to do that. As you said, you know, in almost every department, Lewis is far superior, but you've got to remember, the human being's 2 arms, 2 legs, so he's always got a chance. And he's a big, strong man. He was a power lifter who could lift tremendous amounts. So he's obviously going to be very physically strong. So it's a big opportunity for him. He's going to be trying to take it.
29 years of age, from Sydney in Australia. He's won 11, lost 2 and drawn 1. Both of those defeats were stoppages. Justine Fortune, a massive underdog here. It's a bit like expecting your local tennis club champion to go in and beat Andre Agassi at Wimbledon. But try telling him that. Did have a spell in Britain, Justine Fortune, a couple of fights, and he won them both, and he's been around Australia, USA, and Great Britain too, back in America at the moment in Hollywood.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the former heavyweight champion of the world, Lennox Lewis!
Lennox Lewis makes his first appearance in the British Isles since losing his World Heavyweight Championship, the WBC version, last September against Oliver McCall in what was a stunning defeat for him in so many ways. He's trying to rebuild. He's had 1 win since, good one too against Lionel Butler. There were rather mixed reviews, but before the fight, people were saying it was a dangerous assignment. He shouldn't go in with a puncher like Butler, but he got the job done under his new trainer, the highly respected Emmanuel Stewart. Always very cool, and I must say, he looks a bit more up and a little bit less sleepy coming into the ring than we've seen him in the past sometimes.
Yes, he looks good. I'm sure he's very focused. These are very important fights for him. He's got to, he's trying to get back that World Championship. He wants it dearly, so he's got to get these sort of people out of the way. He's got to look impressive.
At the moment, with the WBC title he held, he finds Frank Bruno ahead of him in the queue to challenge champion Oliver McCall. And of course, Mike Tyson, without even having a fight, has come straight out of jail to be #1 contender. And can you call that justice? Not really. But when did that ever have anything to do with it? Now, look at the tail of the tape here. It will tell you a real story about the size difference here. Look at that. Same age, but there the similarities end. Lewis 6'5", Fortune 5'9", and the weight difference over 2 stone. Lewis will tower over this man. Lennox Lewis. It's his 28th fight tonight. Fortune had half that number. And that reflected in the rounds boxed. Lennox Lewis, big right hand, usually his most potent weapon, an 81% knockout ratio against Fortune's 50%. They have, to be honest, mixed in completely different leagues.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Point, Dublin in Ireland, live and exclusive on Sky Sports, Big Time Boxing and CBS Sports in the United States of America, it's Big Fight Time, sponsored by the Sunday Express newspaper and the Bad Apple Clothing Company, and promoted by Frank Maloney for Panics Promotions and Main Events. We proudly present an international heavyweight contest of 10 3-minute rounds between introducing the boxers, first in the blue corner, wearing the black trunks and coming from Sydney, Australia, from 14 professional contests. He has 11 wins, 7 by way of KO, with 2 losses and 1 draw. He weighed in at 15 stone, 6.5 pounds. That's 216.5 pounds. He's the former Orient and Pacific heavyweight champion. Would you please welcome Justine Fortune? And across the ring, ladies and gentlemen, in the red corner, wearing the white trunks with the gold trim, and coming from London, from 27 professional contests, he has 26 wins, 22 by way of KO with just 1 loss. He weighed in at 17 stone, 8 pounds, and even 246 pounds. He is ranked #1 by both the WBO and the WBC. He's the former British, Commonwealth, and European and WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Lennox Lewis! The officials, ladies and gentlemen, appointed to this contest by the Boxing Union of Ireland, the officials in charge, Mr. Nick Moore and Mr. Mel Crystal, President of the Boxing Union of Ireland, the timekeeper, Mr. Dale Elliott, and your referee, Mr. Roy Francis from London.
The latest in a busy schedule for Roy Francis, the referee here.
Right, well, look at me, we all know what we're doing. When I say both, stand back, that's exactly what I mean, you got it? I spoke to both of you in the dressing room, so you both know what I want. Shake hands. Have a good one.
So we're all set to go here. Lennox Lewis's weight, by the way, is interesting. 17 stone 8, a lot more than he used to weigh in the days of his Razor Ruddock win. At ringside, as always, is his mum, Violet. Never misses a fight.
Second fight, round 1.
How good is Lewis going to look here? He's expected to get this job done in comprehensive fashion. And you can see, just looking at them, what a massive advantage he has in terms of sheer physical presence. Lennox Lewis, the former world heavyweight champion, Britain's only world heavyweight champion this century.
Yes, he looked very keyed up coming in the ring, and if he is, I wouldn't expect this to last very long.
Fortune trying to get in range. It almost looks like a middleweight taking on a heavyweight out there, doesn't it? In fact, Fortune comes in here at just under 15.5 stone.
Fortune's got to make his size work for him, which he can do by keeping very low, keeping on the move, keeping well out of the range of them long punches. It's a long way to punch down for Lennox.
Talked to Dean Powell, who used to train Fortune in his brief spell in Britain. He said he's dangerous with the left hook. And one problem that Lewis does have with his gloves low is sometimes he can be a little bit vulnerable to that. Fortune going for broke, hoping that he can get lucky with one punch in the way that Oliver McCall did. on that fateful night at Wembley.
Lewis using that jab to good effect. That's what he's got to do. Just measure him. But like he tried there, he was a little bit short with that right hand. But if he can measure him with a jab, he can land with the right.
Don't hold, let him go. Let him go. Hey, stand back. Box on.
Lewis has always had great speed and athleticism. A lot of people who fought him say it's very hard to get out of the way of his punches. He throws them with such blurring speed. Very quick for a big man. Good lateral movement around the ropes by Lewis, just poking out the jab from time to time. Haven't seen too much of that big booming right hand of his. Not yet, anyway.
No, I think he's got to try and get Fortune on the end of the jab first. And that could be a little bit of a problem with a man so short, who seems pretty quick, who's moving in, dipping the head from side to side.
Lewis knows he's on a bit of a hiding to nothing here, really. If he wins in double quick time, they'll say, well, he should have done anyway. If he doesn't, the critics will have a go at him. A good body punch there from Fortune. Just lost his balance more than anything, Lewis.
Break it up. Pull it up. Go for it.
Well, the Australian certainly doesn't seem fazed at all by the assignment, does he?
No, he isn't.
And Frank Sinatra tonight. It's Lennox Lewis topping the bill here in his quest to get back and get a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. The big change in the corner. There he is, Emmanuel Stewart, the man responsible for Tommy the Hitman Hearns and Frank Maloney. Always looks a bag of nerves during the fight. Of course, Lewis is a huge investment for him, quite apart from anything else. Second round here, Lewis in the white trunks. Fortune has obviously come in here with plenty of ambition, but he's got everything to gain and not much to lose.
That's right, and that's always a good way to be. Lennox is the one with all the pressure. Fortune even managed to beat Lennox to the jab there. So he's pretty quick at getting in.
Nick under the right eye of Fortune. Nothing more than that at the moment. Lewis sporting this new dreadlocked hairstyle these days. Good stiff jab he possesses. Emmanuel Stewart was saying that when he inherited Lewis, he was fighting to only about 40% of his potential. Now he reckons he's up to about 60%. But Fortune having another success there with his left hook. Oh, that's better from Lewis. The right hand, almost for the first time.
Yes, that's what he needs to get. He needs to get the measure, Lewis, and he can do it with the left jab, and then that right hand will come into play.
Just stung into a bit of action, Lewis. It was about time he upped the gear. And maybe just taught the Australian a bit more respect. The right uppercut was a great shot from Lewis. Short little punches. He says that since he's been with Manny Stewart, he has been shortening up the punches. And he says that he's more focused now in the ring. He did tend to go through sleepy patches in his fights, didn't he?
But give it to Fortune. He is making a fight of this. He is trying to take the fight to Lewis. Lewis used the uppercut well, and that's a shot he's got to use with a small man.
That cut a bit worse by the right eye of Fortune. He's caught again. Lewis is starting to have significantly more success in terms of getting through with his own punches now. Fortune is beginning to realise now that if he does dive within range, Lewis might pick him off with some quite heavy artillery like that.
Yes, the reflexes are fast from Lewis. He's starting to catch Fortune very well on the way in.
Oh, damaging looking right to the body from Lewis. He's paid such a heavy price for his lapse of concentration on the night he lost the title. Well, there's Justin Fortune in the corner there. Leading the team is Freddie Roach, who's been with the likes of Virgil Hill, world light heavyweight champion Marlon Starling, who beat Lloyd Hannigan, experienced character. And they've got a cut to deal with in there.
Yes, there's a bit of facial damage, but I think we can see some of the good work from Lewis. There's that long right hand, just measured him with the jab and got the right hand on. And he's starting to connect with good punches all the time now. His reflexes are very good. And we can just...
There's something of the David and Goliath about this, isn't there? Only this time I'm not sure they even gave David a stone or a catapult.
No, I think he could have done with one maybe.
Third round.
The second a good one for Lewis, slipping into gear.
Starting to look marked up around the face, the Australian Justin Fortune, who these days is resident in Hollywood, which has been making the headlines for one or two other reasons, as you might have read this week.
Don't hold.
Lewis has to be careful that Fortune doesn't hit the jackpot with one of those left hooks that he's throwing with quite a bit of abandon.
He just sunk in a nice body shot, Lewis there.
All right, out. There you go.
Quite a lot to admire in Lewis's work.
Yes, he's doing a lot of good things, and the tempo is very good. Using his jab very well, nice and fast.
But give credit to Fortune. He's putting up a really spirited performance here against some pretty insurmountable odds in terms of sheer size.
Yes, he's like a little terrier in there trying to get to Lewis.
This is the typical Aussie spirit, isn't it? They're not the kind to just lie down.
Pull out, folks. Pull out.
No, I think Jeff Harding and Jeff Fennick were a couple that showed that spirit very well.
Those shots. Good hand speed as well from Lewis. A lot of people reckon now that Riddick Bowe is the best heavyweight out there, and of course it was Lewis who beat Bowe in that Olympic final when he won his gold medal. We'd love to see a professional rematch. Will it ever happen? Let's hope so.
And Lewis showed some good things there in defense where when Fortune's coming in, he's getting his hands up very quick, which is a point that he didn't do in several of his fights beforehand. Certainly didn't do with McCaw.
Showing good resilience, really, Fortune as well. He's starting to look a bit the worse for wear because Lewis is a pretty heavy hitter. Coming up towards the end of the third round here. A lot of people thought it wouldn't last this long. Right hand counter from Lewis. He covered up well. He took those punches from Fortune on the gloves.
Yes, he's covering up well and come back with good counters. Good round for Lewis.
Manny Stewart, the new trainer, has been really very, very heavy in his praise of Lewis. He says that not even a Tyson or a Bowe would live with the new Lennox Lewis for 8 or 10 rounds. So far, Fortune, though, has managed into the fourth. Lewis here, maybe he's been told by the corner to go out and get the job done now. Oh, right uppercut was a great shot. Fortune took it well and came back with a terrific left hook of his own.
He certainly did. He said he hadn't come here to lie down, and he's proved that already. He's took some tremendous shots from Lewis.
Right back. Both of you.
Showed amazing durability there because Lewis really hit him with a peach of a right uppercut.
What's your head?
Now this Australian is a bit tougher than the pre-fight script suggested.
them jabs are landing very, very solidly. You wonder how much more he can take.
He headlined this bill Doomsday in Dublin. It really would be a doomsday for Lewis if he was to lose at this kind of level. And there's another cut, I think, opened up around the eyes of Fortune as he's caught with another right hand. Lewis is wearing him down, you feel, bit by bit, stage by stage, breaking the spirit and resistance. And there's a lot of it. Fortune is caught here and in terrible trouble, and it stopped. Oh, it stopped. Even before he hit the floor, Roy Francis had decided that that was enough. In round 4, a series of punches, a cluster, classy uppercuts, and Lennox Lewis, I think, looked for business there.
He certainly did. He looked very fast. That was a tremendous finish. 3 right uppercuts, all rocked the head of Fortune back. I think the referee did the right thing calling it off there. They were very hurtful punches.
Well, they quickly got the shades on for Lennox Lewis, and I don't think Fortune quite knew what hit him in that dazzling finale that Lewis produced to finish the argument just as the corner had demanded in the 4th round. Here's how he did it.
Just the perfect shot for a man of that size. And watch 3 of them, really winds them up, and he goes over with the last one. They were very good punches.
He does look to be improving and gaining in confidence as well. I think now he really has got the McCall defeat out of his system. It's good policy, isn't it, to keep him busy?
It certainly is. He's got to keep going against, you know, a variety of opponents, and he did everything well there. Some good things that I saw. I like the way when Fortune, who was dangerous, came forward. He got his hands up well, Lewis. He used the jab very quickly, and he showed some very good points there.
Well, a lot of people beforehand, maybe they had a case, were saying that this was a complete mismatch, a joke of a fight, but it wasn't that, was it, really?
It certainly wasn't. Fortune came out and he boxed very well indeed. He used the lack of his size to his advantage. He kept his target low, he moved from side to side, and he took some good punches from Lewis, and he fought back from them very well. He showed a great deal of heart. I think a lot of men would have went down before him.
I'm not suggesting by any stretch of the imagination that Fortune is a world-class heavyweight, very far from it, and he was, of course, inferior in size and pedigree and all that, but he really did make an argument of it in the best way he knew how, and lasted into the 4th round. Those are the cuts. One of those opened up pretty early on, one of those nicks, and then it became quite serious for him. And Lewis now has to survey the world heavyweight picture, of course. Oliver McCall, the WBC champion, lined up to fight Frank Bruno. Tyson's around as well. WBA champion is Bruce Selden. He's due for a rematch with Tony Tucker. The IBF championship is vacant, and George Foreman, having relinquished it, he won't fight Axel Schultz in a rematch, and the WBO champion is Riddick Bowe, who's looking very good at the moment. So, where's the opening for Lewis? Of course, as always, politics plays a big, big part. Well, in just a moment, Lennox Lewis will climb out of the ring and have a chat with our Gary Norman at ringside. I wonder what he made of all that. It's good to have him back with us on Sky Sports. I wonder how pleased the camp were in all of that. Emmanuel Stewart is coming to join us as well. Let's join Gary, shall we?
Well, Lennox, as you said at the top of the show, you hadn't come halfway around the world to sit down, had he? He was game.
No, he was very game. He threw some good punches, and, you know, I hit him with some tremendous shots. It was surprising that he didn't go down, but I knew the uppercuts would get to him.
The size, with his size, he was awkward. Once you sort of sussed him out, you fell into your game plan, didn't you?
Definitely. I was a bit cautious the first round. Then Emmanuel told me to step it up, so I did.
Did he hurt you at all with some of them shots?
No, he actually caught me in the first round with a good shot, and that kind of woke me up, so I started rattling my punches.
If you have a look over your right shoulder, we show you the finish. Just talk us through it. These uppercuts were tremendous.
Yeah, definitely. I seen every time he got hurt, I would just throw the uppercut, and he was really open for the uppercut. So I was trying to launch into some uppercuts. But like I said, he was pretty tough. I was just about going to come out on the left hook, and the referee said stop. He was trying to win a lot of punches in there, but I figured I'd just step aside and throw the uppercut. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I said to the referee, you did a good job. I didn't want to get him too hurt in there.
Yeah, they booed the stoppage, but that's fair. I mean, you got to stop a guy like that from getting hurt bad.
Definitely. You know, a guy that has a big heart, they always get hurt, so I didn't want to hurt him too bad.
Now, I have to ask Frank Maloney, what is the situation with regards to this man getting a shot at a world title?
We will do all possible now to lodge his claim with the WBC. We've also been informed that he's the #1 in the WBO, so that makes him the mandatory for Riddick Bowe as well. So now we have 2 angles to pursue. But the WBC is the most important angle.
Foreman, I believe, has given up the IBF. Is that another option?
No, that's been made by, I believe, the German and the South African.
So give me a timescale. How long before we see Lennox Lewis fighting for a world title?
Well, we will definitely see Lennox Lewis in the ring by the end of September, October, and we're hoping that's going to be for the world title.
Well, that's something we all look forward to. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much.
Satisfactory night's work, you'd have to call that, from the point of view of Lennox Lewis, and the smile will be beamed across the United States. Everyone wonders how the big fight machine in the United States will take to that performance by Lewis. But the result tends to speak for itself. Were you impressed, Barry?
I was impressed. He was a little bit tentative to begin with, but partly because of the huge physical advantages he had over Justine Fortune. And there were small similarities with Tyson, the way he moved in for the left hook. He backed Lewis up on the ropes at one stage and backed him up for that left hook. But I liked the way he done it. He slowly sort of bed his way into the fight, picked his way in with the jab, and then he could see that Fortune was open as he got up close. He prized him up with the jab, pulled in the uppercuts a few times, tried a couple of long right hands, and this guy had got a great deal of courage and a good chin. And there were some great punches early on in the round. And you see, this is the finish again. What's the accuracy of the man? This is the sort of thing that Emmanuel Stewart talks about. Look, 3 uppercuts from a guy of 17.5 stone within a split second. It's remarkable just the sort of reflexes and the coordination this guy has. He's a real athlete. Look at this. 1, 2, again, almost immediately, whack, pulls that 3rd uppercut in.
On the balance of what you've seen in this performance from Lennox Lewis, how much difference has Emmanuel Stewart made to him so far?
Well, you can see obviously fundamental changes in the guy, but we're going to have to see a more arduous fight, a more difficult and trying fight to actually see whether or not these changes are going to really work. You know, there's no doubt that he is actually improving. He's coming back into combination punches again, and that's where he made his mistake in the first place. He went away from combination punches, started loading up in the long right hand, sticking out the occasional jab, loading up with the right hand. He's got to get back to his boxing again, his combination punches. He really is an excellent all-round fighter, but that's going to come with time and with perseverance and with fights, with regular fights. And Frank Maloney talks about him having a world championship in September, October. But really, he really should keep him busy even if he didn't get a world title fight. There was an interesting point, just if I might add,
yes,
in the round here. Earlier on in the fight, earlier on in this round here, he hit Fortune with a couple of great shots, banged him to the body, banged him to the head too, and he was in with a cracking uppercut. Now watch this, he gets a left hook almost immediately. That was a good shot, and you see his knees just taking a little bit of a jolt there, but he just paused for thought, gathered his thoughts, took a little step back, thought about it for a second, and then reasserted himself and then done a hatchet job on Fortune.
Now, the word that's been going around about Lennox Lewis, and I hesitate to use it, but professionals have used the word gun-shy since he was put away by McCall. Yeah. Does there come a point for Lennox Lewis in this situation where he's got to know that he can take a big shot again?
Well, I think he does know. He does know that he can take a shot again, and a knockout can happen to anybody. But self-preservation is something that's inbuilt in us. We'll all know, some more so than others, but we'll all know when we have to defend ourselves. That's one thing Lewis has got. I think he can take a punch. I think he's got an excellent chin. It was just 32 stone hitting him on the chin against McCall. He made a mistake and he walked onto it. And you need to have a chin like an anvil to be able to stand up to that.
Good fight overall, wasn't it, as well? Lots of action.
Well, without a doubt, I thought it was a good pacey little fight. I thought Justine Fortune told us exactly what he was going to do. He was coming back and he was going to make a real effort, and he was going to go down fighting, and that's what he done.
His whole body language suggests that he feels he's done a good night's work here.
Well, I'm sure he feels he has done a good job. We know he's done a good job, but, you know, let's be honest and let's not get carried away with it. It's a relatively, easy opponent. let's see what he can do against the better guys.
Credit also, he's getting a tremendous appreciation from the Dublin crowd here. They love a brave Australian around here. And this man, Justine Fortune, has certainly proved himself that tonight. Well done to him, conceding a tremendous amount of weight, more than 2 stone and 8 inches in height, and he came to fight. I think it was a good decision by Roy Francis to stop it when he did.
I thought the referee was absolutely excellent. You know, this guy is as courageous as they come, and he would have fought on until he would have got absolutely starched and flattened, and that's what would have happened. So the referee done him a favour. Roy Francis is one of the best referees in the business.
Right, thanks to Barry McGuigan. Join us again at the Point Depot in just a moment or two. We're going to lightweight next for one of the best prospects in the British Isles, PJ Gallagher. He's in the ring live next. Live action now from the Point in Dublin at lightweight. PJ Gallagher against Chris Clarkson, and our MC Mike Goodall will fill you in further.